welcome. This is Ruth, and this is the very first in the Cyber Week 2023 launches from Tonic. It is really beautiful, and you're going to want to stay tuned because there's lots more coming through the week. These launches are always spectacular. This one is called Shopping the High Street Spinning Box Die Set, and there are 43 dies in here. If you haven't already subscribed, maybe you'd like to think about doing that now and hitting the notification bell, because you'll not want to miss what's coming next. And then don't forget, if you enjoy it, to give me a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment down below as well. But back to this one. This actually has lots and lots of pieces that you can use together to make the spinning box, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. But there are lots of dies in here that you could use for other things as well. So just look at that gorgeous little brick die there, and this gorgeous window, and this little, all of these can be used in so many different ways. So not just in this box. Think that you're going to get quite a bit of extra mileage out of this as well, because you can do other things with it. You could certainly make cards and all sorts of things. Now, I knew as soon as I looked at this that I would get questions right away. Will this fit inside any of the other arched things that we've had lately from Tonic? So I went and looked out my Gatefold Card Creator die set and the dies, that the box that I made from it. And as you can see here, this is the one with the little gatefold opening in the center of it. And I just want to show you the difference in the size here. So I'll lift off this plain die here, and you can see that it's a little bit smaller. It's shorter there and there. And I maybe just bring it onto this other one that I've cut out here to let you see. So this was a card I made with it, and you can see there how much smaller it is. But I think that you could probably use that. You could put foliage along here or whatever, and adapt that as well and use it along with this and with this, as long as you know that it's going to be shorter at the top and bottom there. But it definitely could be disguised and used with that as well, and so could some of these other dies too. So you might get a little bit of extra mileage out of it with that, although it won't just be perfect, but I think you could sort of disguise it and use it. So all the instructions are inside the packaging of this one, and it will tell you how many bits and pieces you want to cut out and how many bits and pieces you'll need for each thing. But it just looks so beautiful. I'm going to go ahead now and get lots of card out, start cutting, and I'll be right back and we'll just start putting it all together. For the main box then, I have cut out 3 of these and 2 of these. So one is going to be the top with an aperture in it, and the other is going to be the base, and these are the side panels here. So you will have 6 sides on it, but you'll need to cut 3. Now, to create the one with the aperture in it, you'll take this second die, pop this one face down, and pop this one inside after you've cut it out. And you'll see there we've had this one cut first of all, and then I tape this one inside, and it lines up with all these the outside lines there. And when you pop it through your die cutting machine, it gives you a circle aperture inside your hexagon, and then you can go ahead and fold all these down. So I'm just going to leave that for a moment or two, leave that one aside, and the other one then I have just burnished all the score lines, and that's going to be my base. So on these two panels here, which form the sides, I have then gone ahead with some dies inside it to create the apertures. So I have cut 3 out, and I've gone ahead with some of them already. 3 of them will be perfectly plain. The 2 sides will be just exactly the same when they come out of the die cutting machine. They'll look like that. But then I have cut out this little die in the center here. I've still got some Midnight Plum in there from my previous die cutting. That's a really gorgeous card. There you are, that's it out now. So all I've done is I've placed these dies on top of that just for placement. I've also put in the arched one, which is just here, and lined those up, and then set this one into the middle and taped this one down and removed these ones, because those were only used as a guideline to make sure I got this one right in the center. If you've got a really good eye, you could go ahead and certainly just tape that down in the middle, but definitely having those ones on top first of all gives you better placement and just make sure everything is lined up properly. And that gives you this little panel here with the lovely window cut in it. So you'll want to do that on the 3 sides that you've got, and then you can also then come back to decorate that with this die, these 2 together, and this one in the center. And you don't want to use this one because that will cut a piece out in the center. So what you're actually doing is taping these three together this time. And you can certainly go ahead and use that one for placement, just to be sure you have that all lined up. And and take it out again, of course, and then that will give you this beautiful die cut here. That then gets placed right over here, and I'm going to put acetate on as well. So I've cut some acetate to 4 centimeters. Hope you can see that. 4 centimeters by 9.5, and I've removed the backing film from that. Now I want to put that on here, but it is a much easier job if you glue this on first, because if you've got your acetate on first and you happen to get any stray glue going through, then you've got to try and remove it from the acetate. So it's much easier just to go ahead, pop this one down first, and then add the acetate on behind that. For the other panel here that's plain at the moment, I've taken this die and I've cut that out in some sugared lilac Craft Perfect texture weave card, and then I've used this one and this one together, this one with the beautiful bricks on it, and that has given me that lovely detailed die, which I've then cut out and glued on top of that one. And you can see there I've tried to keep just the sort of random bricks inside that, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this on here, and then I'll glue all these 3 panels together in a row. I've just turned these over, and then this is the part that goes onto the top. So I'm going to glue 2 of these little glue tabs here to the very top and keep that flush up at the top. I should open a new glue container, I think, a new glue bottle. Anyway, for now, there we are. So I'm going to glue those right there. You can see that better than I can from there, but right there, and then the next one onto it. I'm going to have to lift this so that I can see it better, but that's got to be right up to the top there, so that this is level right across, and then bring that one in and you'll see it there. So now I've taken the base and I've done exactly the same thing, glued 2 of the glue tabs on here directly opposite this one, and you can see there I've attached them just right above where the little pattern ends there, so that that won't be visible whenever this is standing up. You want that just in above that there. And now I can go ahead and put glue on the rest of these tabs, line them up and fold the whole thing up like that, and then when I come to the end I'll just put glue down this tab, and that will hold the whole thing together. I thought I'd like to add this little bit onto the top because it strengthens it, and it also looks really pretty. So I used these 2 dies together, and when I cut that out I trimmed all these little tabs off, so I didn't need those, and I ended up with this sort of hexagon with a circle aperture and glued that right on top. Now I'm going to make the inner box to fit down inside here, the one that you can turn around and see through these windows. So I have taken this die with the 3 glue tabs on, and I've cut it out 6 times, and I have glued them together by the side panels there, by the side glue tab, and I've got a full row of them there. So now when you turn that over, you can see I've already gone ahead and started to decorate this. So I could actually take any of these panels, these decorative ones, and cut them straight through into that and back those with acetate. But this time I wanted this box to be solid, and you could just see through this area but have this one solid. So I've actually cut out panels with the plain die in this sugared lilac, I think it is, sugared lilac, yeah. And then I've popped these dies inside. So really what I've done is use that outside one with a lot of these decorative ones inside like that, tape them together. And if you're not confident about doing that and holding them down really carefully, you can cut this one and then cut this into it. But I've used them both together, and I've cut myself out all these shapes for the little shops, and you can see there are different ones that wouldn't necessarily be shop fronts, so I've kept those aside, and I've used the 6 for here, and I'm going to glue those on there. And then I have actually gone back with some of them here, and I've just put a little piece of this Midnight Plum in behind and die cut that again and paper pieced those on top. And you can see there I've used some of the mulberry wine paper to paper piece the lampshade, and I've also die cut the little mannequin from that as well. And when I get to this part, I'm going to glue that in there, and I might even go ahead with a couple of different colours on there, possibly silver. I'm not actually sure at this stage, but that's where I'm going from here. So I'm just going to go ahead and first of all I'll glue these 2 panels on and then start paper piecing. That's them all decorated and paper pieced, and now all I need to do is glue this together here, and then I'm going to put one of these small hexagons which I've cut with this die down on the inside, and then cover the glue tabs with one on the outside as well. So this piece first. I've just put this in here already to have a little look, and it does look really, really nice. You can see the little areas through that window. Anyhow, I'm going to set that aside while I move on with the lid. So you'll need 2 of these large hexagons, and you need to take an aperture out of the center of them with the smaller one. So you can do that in either of 2 ways. You can run the 2 of them through the machine together, your die cutting machine. Just pop one down on the white card and this one in, and you should be able to gauge where that should go, just like that, by setting one in. And if you tape these together very carefully, you can lift that off and set it on your second piece, cut the second one out, and you'll get those in exactly the same spot. If you don't want to do that, just run through this one, and then when you've got the large aperture, you can take this one, the large die cut, you can take this one out of the center. Then you will need to cut out 3 of these pieces here, and that gives you the 6 sides for going round there. And inside that you'll find 2 little areas that you can die cut to put on top of it, and I've used a little brick one to match up with the rest of mine. So I cut the brick one out in the Midnight Plum. I set it onto some sugared lilac, and then I just fussy cut around that. I actually just cut it really, really sharply with the scissors right across the edge, because there's not a little die cut for that. And I got all of these pieces which I have glued on, and I've glued my 3 strips together and made one big long strip. So now what I need to do is just glue these on here the whole way around until I get all of that attached. I'll actually start here with the lip end, so that when I come to the end I'll be able to glue that onto there. And then I'll do exactly the same with the bottom one, and I'll attach those 2 together by this little piece here. So I'm going to just do this carefully and slowly right around here, on there, and just make sure they're all sitting perfectly flush the whole way around. Whenever you have all those panels glued together there, then you'll take this little die and cut that out 5 times, and it forms a little lip at the top of the lid there. So all you need to do is put glue on here. Just leave the top area towards the scalloped edge there clear from glue and pop that in there, and you'll be able to line it up and hold that just like that until the glue grabs, and then this is the part that you're going to leave free. So you'll have that on 5 sides like that. I've die cut a lilac hexagon here and then used the 2 dies together to create this one in the Midnight Plum, and I've glued those both together, but I've still got my white one here. And what I'm going to do now is just add this little glue tab. This is the hinge actually. Put that on here right up at the top, and then turn that over and just make sure it's all level, and then I'm going to cover that with this other hexagon, so that covers the underside of the this here, and it also covers the glue tab, and that keeps that all nice and neat just like that. And then I can just go ahead then and glue this tab right in here. So this is the part that doesn't have the little scalloped piece there, and that will just fit right inside there. And you can just flip that over and you'll be able to press that down and make sure it's all in the right place. There's this little die that cuts out the little locking mechanism for it. So I've cut these out in the plum again. I've taken these two and I have folded them back like that and glued the 2 little pieces with the holes together like that. And that will fit on here, but just to make sure that I've got all this in the right place, I'll put this one on first. So I'm going to put glue on there, and then that goes right inside there, and you can just hold that, make sure it's in the center, and leave yourself enough room to fit this little mechanism on here. So once that has attached and the glue has grabbed, it always takes a little minute or 2 more, a little second or 2 more when it's on mirror card. But there you are. Just take that little bit of glue off right now. So there we are, and you've got plenty of room there to put this on. So all you need to do is put glue on those 2 little folded back areas, and I'll just grab this with the tweezers from this side. That glue will then spread out, but I'll help it a little bit with my fingers, and pop that in there and line it up, and then you can just hold that down until the glue dries. Lift it up and check that you've got it straight first, because you'll need to be able to see that first of all, and then help it around, and there you are. So you can tie a ribbon through that, or you can put a little sort of bar of rolled up card or paper or something, but I think a little ribbon would be lovely on that. So all's left to do now is attach this onto here. Now you could actually just put glue on here and right round here, or on the other side of those tabs, and put it on there and make sure you have it centered, but I don't really want to see those tabs there, so I am just going to open this little lid up and put glue in around the underside. See, right in here, I'll just point to it with my pokey tool. So it's in here on the bottom part, not the part with these pieces on, so it's the bottom there, all around there, and then feed this up in through here, fold those back, and I'll be able to fold those in and hold them down as well. Now just before, I have all the glue in there, but just before I actually put this in, and I know that this is the front part, I just want to have a little look and see which one of these I would like at the front, and I think I would like that one. So I'll slide this over. And then pop all these little glue tabs down. There it is then. And that was actually a little bit fiddly to hold those pieces in, but I think it was worthwhile because you don't see them at the end. But isn't that really, really lovely? Now then you can turn that around and have all of those different things displayed in there. And obviously at the same time that's happening at the other windows there. So it's really, really cute. I added some of that ivy onto the side, so I just put 2 little bits up at the top there. I didn't want to sort of overdo it, but I thought that looked nice as well. And obviously then I've put a little bit of ribbon on here, and I just poke it out with my pokey tool. So you've got the inner box that you can use like that, and you can take that out, and this is the outer casing for it here. So there's lots of different ways you could use that, and as I said, you could have this with the openings as well, but isn't that really, really pretty? And it's just a really, really different little display box. Now, I thought I would really like to go ahead with one in these colours again, and you know I like my samples to match, but I really, really love this mulberry wine paper as well. So I have cut out my 3 panels, and before I glued them together, then I took the little die that had the window in it. So that's this one. I placed that into the centre of the left hand one of each panel, and I die cut that. And then I just snipped off a piece of paper that was a bit bigger than this, ran that through the die cutting machine like so, and then I just drew around the outside edge of that and cut away, as you can see here, just inside that line that I drew around it, because I didn't want the pencil line, and I cut on the inside of that, and then I snipped all of these off, and that left me with lovely curtains. And the side panels then are floral, but I wanted to add these lovely shutters around the windows here. So I've taken the shutter die, which is this one, and I've cut it out in the mirror card, and that has given me this. And I've very, very carefully, now you need to really, really carefully fold back, because that's a very narrow piece of card there, and you don't want to damage the mirror card on it at all. So I folded that back really, really carefully, as I said, and then now I want to show you how I'm going to add these pieces on. So I've got a piece of card, and I just want to add some glue around the shutter here, just a little drop of glue, making sure it doesn't go on here just yet. I just want it on there. And then this fold line will be very, very carefully put up against an edge here. So right up to the edge, and then I can just lift the card and make sure that it's right at the edge, and make sure that's at a straight edge as well, not just somewhere where you've chopped with scissors and you think might be straight. It's got to be right out at the edge there. Then you just press that down, and then you can just very, very easily, I'll cut this off just to make it a little bit simpler, but you can very, very easily just follow those lines round with your scissors, because you can feel the edge of it on the scissors there. I put vellum on the inside of those this time instead of the acetate like I did with the others, and I was going to go and add a second piece in like I did on the first one here, and pop this inside, and you know that would be really, really beautiful. But when I saw the vellum, I just thought it would be really nice to make this into a little tea light sort of box. So I've taken the large die that cuts out the big hexagon, and I have folded and glued back 5 of those sides, and I'm going to use this one as a tab. But I want to cover all these glue tabs over for the inside, because this is going to be my lid this time. So I've cut the hexagon again, and then I have trimmed off the little glue tabs, and I've actually trimmed off just a little smidgen more than that, so that none of this is visible from the outside. And now I'm just going to glue this directly on the inside here. And there we are. Now that piece is going to get attached to the back of this, and that will be my little area to go down here. But first of all, I'm going to decorate the top of this, but I also want to go ahead and add some of these circles. So the large circle that you can cut from this will fit directly inside that big circle that's on the lid that's cut out of the top there. So this, if I stack a couple of these up, they should, in theory, I hope it works in practice, but they should actually just fit down inside there. You can see there then that I have decorated the top with the paper that matches here, and I've put a little loop of ribbon and I've just glued it on there. And then, whoops, I have stacked up 3 of these, including one with the midnight plum on it, and that just fits perfectly down in there. You don't need a magnet, you don't need anything else, and I really love that. I think it's just turned out so different from the other one. The lid's different and everything's different. And then I went ahead with the ivy. I cut that out in white and just added one little sprig across the arch of each window. So that's an alternative way to use it, and that would be really beautiful, either as a gift box or as something with a little battery tea light inside. I've gone ahead with a third project then, and I know that the real showstopper, as always, is what this die set was meant to make, but I've showed you how to do that, and then I thought you tend to like all the other little bits and pieces that I show you as well to get a bit of extra mileage, so I'm going to do that as well this time. So this is why I've made this one with the little flat roof or lid, and now I've decided to, instead of making an inside that would go in that one, I'm going to glue this one all together and try to make a flat lidded one like this that is all joined together, and I can put a little battery tea light in that as well. So what I'm going to do is join this up here the way I've done in the other ones. I have paper pieced, I should have said that actually, I've just paper pieced some bits back on there. I just die cut them out again and glued them on top, and you can see this one here is a little drop shadow because I thought that just looked nice on here, and here as well. And I've kept some bricks in, let some fall out or whatever, and I'll join that up, and then I'll put the 2 hexagons in, one down at the bottom and then one over the glue tabs, and then we'll go for a lid after that. I've taken one of the small hexagons, and I'm hoping this works, but in my head it's going to. I have cut a 5 centimeter diameter circle out of the center of it, and obviously that's not in the kit, but if you have something close-ish to that, you'll be able to just cut it out there. Now I am going to pop this on here, and you can see I've picked this as the front, and it doesn't really matter because you'll be able to turn it around anyway, but I've got glue on the tops of all of these except the one at the back, which I've turned back, and that's the one I'm going to use as my hinge. So I'm going to set this on here and make sure all of these are in place first of all. I've taken the small hexagon then and glued it on the inside of this, and then I've taken another one, I've cut this one out in the sugared lilac, and I'm going to glue that directly on top, and then that covers the lid, makes it nice and colourful, and it also covers this little tab here as well. So that's just going on there, and there we are. Oh, it's turning out really well. I'm very happy. Now what I need to do is exactly the same as what I did on the bigger one. I'm just going to use the same circle that I cut out of here, because obviously that's the circle from that aperture, so it's going to fit through it again, and I'm going to glue 3 of those right on here, and then a little ribbon tab as well. I went ahead then with the little circles, and you saw there where I glued the white one on. I actually glued 3 on all together, so the third one was this beautiful mirror card to match all these little details on here, and then I glued a little ribbon tab on there and put some ivy on there, and now that looks really pretty and will be really beautiful with a little battery tea light inside. Don't forget that you can use lots of these dies and things to make cards and all sorts of things, but I think you'll probably be able to work out yourself how to make a card with it and how beautiful that could be with any of those panels or even with a couple of them on it. So I thought as a last little project I would make a little pocket. So this could be used just as a gift tag or whatever, or a pocket for a memory book. So this is really the side panel that I have made the bigger box with, and I have put a little decorative panel on the front and then just punched out a little hole. I had a little circle punch here, and I've punched out a little hole up at the top. And now all I'm going to do is glue this side glue tab here and put a little drop of glue along the bottom there. And that's my pocket made. I'll burnish that down, but while I'm doing that, then I can explain the little tag for inside it. But you can put anything you want, because obviously a little square tag or anything would fit in there. A little rectangle one, sorry. But I used this die and then this one inside a sort of arched one, and I made myself this little tag which I then punched, and that could fit in there. So that's lots and lots of different ways of using this, and obviously this is the showstopper here. That's everything that I'm going to make with this one, and I have absolutely loved experimenting with this set. I really, really love this idea. Just the way that all rotates and moves, and you can have a different view from the window every time you turn it around. It's a really, really clever concept. And then this one, well, actually, I just love them all. So I hope you've enjoyed it, because I really have had fun. And I hope that has shown while I've been making those. And obviously you can use all different colours with that. You could do whatever. It would be really, really beautiful in natural colours. And I was thinking even at one stage where this one would be beautiful all coloured in with alcohol markers, all different colours on it. But because I like all my samples to tone in and match whenever I'm taking my final photographs, I like to have them all sort of all the same colourway. And then this little tag. So if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. That means an awful lot to me. And if you take time to leave a comment, that's really fantastic, and I will reply. Sometimes it takes me a day or two to get back, but I always do read them and I always reply. So thank you very, very much for that. Now, my affiliate links for everything that I've used will be down below in the description as well, and I get a little commission from that, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So I really appreciate everybody who uses that as well. If you haven't subscribed, I would really love you to do that and hit the notification bell. And hopefully I'll see you back again soon. If you've enjoyed it, do come back, and I'll see you again soon. But in the meantime, happy crafting. Bye bye.